Hey guys, this is Mac and welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me for today's episode of 3-Gun Life. In the next 3 episodes, we're going to cover each gun which makes up the sport of 3-gun in great detail. And in today's episode, we're going to cover the rifle. So stay tuned, that's what's coming up next. Honestly, in a lot of my conversations, both with shooters at matches and also online, it's usually the rifle that is the part of 3-gun that they're most comfortable with when they start out shooting matches. Maybe it's because they've got a background with the AR-15 platform, or if they're coming from law enforcement, it's something that they put in a lot of work in practicing. So perhaps that's their confidence gun. But I'm here to tell you, being really good at the rifle takes a lot of hard work. And the first time you go to a match and you have a long range stage that's nothing but rifle, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's not just putting those quick double taps on paper at 7 to 10 yards. The rifle's the whole package. It's right up in your face and it's 400 or 500 yards downrange. So in my opinion, the perfect 3-gun rifle has to do 3 things very well: accuracy, speed, and reliability. So in today's episode, I want to take my 3-gun rifle that I built specifically to compete with this year, from stock to muzzle, and let's go through every part, and I just want to talk about how important they all are and how they all work together to make sure that I get the best performance out of the rifle portion of my 3-gun game. Before we do that, I want to take it back to where it started. If you're new to 3-gun, you may not have the knowledge or the funds to build a race gun like this. So let me show you what I started with. It wasn't this exact rifle, but it was almost exactly like it. This is just a standard M4 clone, essentially self-defense rifle, or a battle rifle, with a 16-inch barrel, chrome lined, mid-length gas system. I have this one set up with a red dot sight. And for the first probably 3 years that I competed in 3-gun, I shot a red dot sight. And you know what? It worked great. Now, it doesn't shoot as flat as my race gun, and maybe it's not quite as accurate out way down range, but it's very serviceable. It never let me down. And if you've got something like this at home, you can certainly shoot 3-gun. Now, once you decide that you really want to get serious about the game, you will start to want to customize your rifle, because there are ways to make the rifle perform better. This is the first rifle that I built specifically for 3-gun, and this was my competition rifle last year. Now, this year I've converted it to my factory division rifle by putting this red dot sight on top. It has a 16-inch barrel as well. The difference here is that it has a little longer gas system. This has an intermediate length gas system. This is a stretch 16 barrel. And that makes it shoot a little bit softer than this carbine that I just showed you. It's a really fantastic rifle, and I'm glad to still have it. But I really wanted to do something great for this year. So this is my project rifle for this year that I built to be in the practical division. Now, if you don't know, practical division is the most popular division in all of 3-gun. It's essentially the tactical optics division if you're in something like USPSA multi-gun. That just means that you're using a magnified scope on top of your rifle. Now, that's a little bit different than the open or the unlimited division. I've had a video that talked about that already. So specifically, I just want to talk about this practical rifle. Starting with the stock, you'll notice that I have an adjustable 6-position stock on this rifle. Now, a lot of folks in 3-gun use fixed rifle length buffer systems and stocks on the rifles. I'm a big fan of adjustable stocks because I like to have the option of moving this stock during a match. Now, even though probably 90% of the time I shoot it completely extended, there are situations where I like to shorten it up by a click or so. Now, this happened to me in a very important match last year at the Fort Benning multi-gun match, where we had a shoot house stage, and because of the length of these rifles, we were maneuvering in and around walls and doorways, and I wanted a little bit shorter rifle. So That's really why I like an adjustable stock. There are a lot of opinions on this. The cheek weld is also very important, and I've always had really good cheek weld with this particular version of stock. This is a SOP mod style stock. The weight of your buffer inside the buffer extension is also very important, and it goes hand in hand with both your gas system and also the weight of the bolt carrier group. And I'll touch on that as I talk about those particular parts. Now you'll notice on both my upper and lower receivers that I have some very customized parts. One is this safety selector. You'll notice when I flip it that this is a short throw safety lever. A typical safety lever flips 90 degrees. This one only flips about 50 degrees. And I like that for 3-gun. I'm probably in the minority on this, but for me, the ability to flip that safety off at the beginning of a stage and get started shooting is just a fraction quicker, and I really, really like it. You'll also notice that I have an oversized magazine release button here by V7. This is helpful if I ever have to do a mandatory magazine change in a 3-gun stage, and although those are rare, they do happen, so this really helps me out. But the pride of your AR-15 lower receiver is your trigger. Triggers are probably the thing that shooters like to customize the most, and it can really be a game breaker for shooting long-range rifle. Now, I've tried a lot of them, but I believe that this AR Gold trigger that I have in my rifle this year is the cream of the crop. There really are a lot of top-of-the-line, really good AR-15 triggers. This one just happens to work for me. Whether you decide on a single-stage trigger or a 2-stage trigger, you got to try them all out and see what works best for you. The things that you need to look for are how crisp is the break and how short is the reset. And 3-gun, to me, those are the two very, very important factors in a trigger, because speed of follow-up shots and the splits on your double taps are really going to make a difference in the time on your stage. And not only that, when you're shooting those 300 and 400 yard steel targets and you're nervous and you're breathing hard and that reticle's just jumping around, the better the trigger, the better you're going to perform. Now, as we move toward the front of the rifle, this to me is really the most important set of parts that you're going to decide about in your rifle. The barrel is without question the most important part of a 3-gun rifle. It's going to determine all 3 of those key characteristics that I mentioned at the beginning of the video: accuracy, speed, and reliability, all center around the barrel. Along with the barrel, it's the gas system or the gas block that feeds the gas out of the barrel and back into the receiver, and it's the bolt carrier group that functions with the buffer assembly in the stock that makes the action of the rifle repeat over and over and over reliably. Now, I have the same bolt carrier group and system in my rifle from last year as I do in this one, so I'm just going to quickly take this bolt carrier out and show you. This is a low mass operating system bolt carrier group from JP. And this is the one that I use in both of my rifles. It's my absolute favorite. And if you'll notice the profile of it here, it's not like a standard M4 profile bolt carrier group. This is a Colt M4 full auto bolt carrier group, and you can see how much heavier and robust it is. You don't necessarily need something like that to shoot 3-gun. What people have found over the years, and JP has been great about this in the competitive shooting circle, is to find something that's lighter so that there's less reciprocating mass inside the gun, but that also reliably functions every time. And I've been able to get that out of this low mass operating system bolt carrier group from JP. It's also coupled with JP's enhanced bolt. I've had really good success with this system, and it is a perfect setup for the gas system on this rifle. Now, I'll talk briefly about the barrel in just a minute, but before I do that, I want to talk about this handguard system. There are a lot of handguard systems out there, but in my opinion, 100% of 3-gun rifles need to have a free-floating handguard system. This one by Noveske has always worked really well for me. By free floating, I mean that it does not touch the barrel or impact the position of the barrel anywhere along the length of this rail. It never touches the barrel. Any type of precision rifle, in order to get the best performance out of it, needs to be free from any forces outside of the barrel. And you'll see this if you ever see someone shooting a non-free floated rifle at some targets in a match like 300 or 400 yards downrange. The slightest influence on the side of that barrel can really push your rounds off target and cause lots and lots of problems. So make sure that your handguard system is free floating if you're building your own rifle for 3-gun. Now the gas system works hand in hand with the weight of the bolt carrier group. If you have an adjustable gas system like I have on this rifle, it allows you to tune down the gas to the minimum amount that you really need to cycle that bolt carrier, and a lighter bolt carrier will cycle with less gas. That's why these race gun setups like this can be very finicky. Having an adjustable gas block is a good thing, because if you're shooting in the wintertime when it's colder, you might need more gas to make your rifle run. And being able to tune that on the fly is a big positive. To add to that, the length of your gas system is also going to be crucial. In a 16-inch barrel like I have here, for a long time, mid-length gas systems were really all there was available. When we developed this barrel, the Stretch 16, we were able to get an intermediate length gas system, which is between mid-length and rifle, to be able to reliably function in this rifle every time. And it has been a game changer for 3-gun. Now that's not to say that people don't still shoot 18-inch barrels. When I started building my first AR rifle for 3-gun, I built it with an 18-inch barrel that was stainless steel and had a rifle length gas system. That has been the standard in 3-gun for a long time. This 16-inch barrel really allows you to be able to do a lot of the same things that you do with an 18-inch, but in a little shorter package. Now also, when I mentioned earlier about the triggers in these rifles, there are so many on the market. The same thing is true for the muzzle brake. The muzzle brake, I think, is the easiest thing you can just plug on the end of your rifle to be able to control how much your muzzle moves up and down when you fire the rifle. If you've ever shot an AR-15 that doesn't have a big muzzle brake on the end, you know that when you fire it, that muzzle wants to jump up. A properly tuned muzzle brake will allow you to keep your barrel completely flat when you fire it. And if you do like I do and you take slow motion video of yourself, you'll be able to just see when you double tap on targets how flat your rifle can really shoot when you've got the right equipment. Now this RA701 muzzle brake from Rise Armament for me has worked extremely well. I've tried this setup for several years now, trying to get everything tuned just right, and I've had really good results with this muzzle brake. Now finally, you'll notice, again like I said, that this is my rifle for tactical optics or the practical division. The biggest decision that you'll probably have to make for a rifle like this is your optic. Now I don't want to go into a huge amount of detail in this video because we're really talking about the rifle here. But the optic is an integral part of your 3-gun rifle. And I've tried many scopes until I found one that I think's perfect for me. This is the Vortex Razor. It's probably the most popular variable power scope amongst 3-gunners nowadays. It's what I would consider an upper tier optic because it is quite expensive. But spending your money on really good glass for your 3-gun rifle is going to pay dividends, and the glass on this scope is exceptional. The reticle is really great for 3-gun. It was designed by Jerry Michalek, and in my experience I've looked for a long time for what I would consider a really good reticle for 3-gun, and this scope has it. Now I've shot other scopes in 3-gun and had very good success. Much cheaper scopes as well. For a long time most people were shooting 1 to 4 power variable scopes. This one goes up to 6 power. There are even scopes now on the market that go up to 8 power and maybe even beyond, but those are quite expensive. So for the most part I would guess that people are shooting 1 to 4s and 1 to 6s like this one. Now just to backtrack, again, if you want to shoot factory division, You have to have an unmagnified optic or iron sights. Now, essentially nobody shoots iron sights anymore in 3-gun, maybe very, very few people. And when I say iron sights, I mean the real old-fashioned iron sights. Most people are shooting red dots when they shoot in the irons division or the factory division, and that's basically just a 1x unmagnified red dot style or prismatic style optic. So thanks again for joining me for this episode of the 3-Gun Life series. I hope that it was very helpful for you to understand each component of a really good 3-gun rifle and how important they all are to make sure that you get the best accuracy, speed, and reliability out of your rifle. The further along you go in the game, the more you're going to realize that your equipment makes a huge difference in how you perform in a match. Making sure that this rifle is properly lubed and cleaned before every match is of utmost importance. So make sure that you tune in for the next episode where I'll talk about the 3-gun shotgun. And I'm going to love that one because, let me tell you, the shotgun is my favorite part of 3-gun. Once again, this is Mac. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe by clicking the subscribe link right down here in the bottom left corner. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time.
This is